Hi everybody, and welcome to the channel. I hope you guys are doing really good today. I really do. Well, I'm doing something that makes me feel good, and that's just putting some flowers in water, trying to make things look pretty. Okay, so I wanted to follow up on the video that I put up and took down because I felt like I was being real panicky, you know. Well, about the utility workers, they showed up on time and my family was here, and well, you know, my husband had to let them know a couple of things. And the reason I'm letting you know that is because they did feel justified in wanting to remove the hardware on the door and on the gate. They felt justified in doing that. They didn't think there was anything wrong with that, and I hope that they know now, you know, I hope that they know now that yes, there would be a problem with that. So they did what they had to do, and you know, there were several guys, and I really just want to convey that unfortunately I believe that if you are not prepared for a home invasion, then you're not prepared. If you don't know how you would act in a home invasion, well, I really had a fleeting thought. It was more than that yesterday, that I was possibly potentially facing a home invasion with the way those guys were acting outside. And I know I wasn't wrong in that because I've talked to some other people. I don't really need to talk to anybody to verify my feelings, what they were. And I have it on security tape as well. I was very easily outnumbered and overpowered, I guess I could say, potentially. So I'm getting some water for my flowers. I happened to see myself on security camera that we have, the way that I handled it, and it was interesting watching the security video from the inside of my house. And I could see all of the ways that you act in the very beginning when you think something violent possibly could happen. And I could see that I was assessing the situation and deciding whether or not I wanted to open the door. My husband, he saw all the footage, and you know, I had my weapon and everything. And anyway, they did come back. They got the job done, and hopefully they won't have to come back for a while. But I really believe that if you don't have some way to protect yourself, everything is being propped up artificially. And I don't know what this place is going to look like, especially in my neighborhood, but I don't know what this place is going to look like in 6 months from now. I think that the violence is going to be something that it's going to become it's routine already. It's not what it's going to become. It's already routine. And, you know, you can expect to pretty much be outnumbered. Not all the time, but had those guys, you know, the fact that they could take the hardware off meant probably that they could get into the house. You know, when you're asleep at night, I'm sure they have the equipment to do that, to gain access, and they're not the only ones, so you know, one thing that I really wish, and looking back, is that I wish, and you can wish all you want, but in looking back, I really wish that I had learned about things on a global scale more, like finances, economics, and I grew up in an era, you know, in the 80s, early 90s, when it was, you know, very consumer driven, and the future was so bright that you had to wear shades. And now, you know, the system is definitely collapsing, and I would love to believe that, you know, things are going to get better, but I think they have to get worse before they get better. I think that's kind of like just a general rule or law of physics. And in listening to a lot of different financial channels, I've learned so much in a really short period of time. Things that I think would have been beneficial to learn in the educational system, but it's not run by, you know, they're not run by conservative people. You know, they're basically socialist havens. And I did make a video about where I called it Where I Learned to Hate America. And of course I don't hate America, but at UT I was taught, you know, to feel guilty for the things that I had, for being an American and having the material things that I had. I was taught to feel guilty for that and basically apologize. And that, you know, because of my skin color, because, you know, that was the reason everyone else was suffering, not just here but all over the world. And that's just really what you're paying. That's, you know, that's really a shame. And I know it's been going on for a long time. You know, I know it's been going on for a long time. But, you know, I think all we can really do right now, you know, those of us who aren't billionaires, of course, God, that's just all we ever hear about are these billionaires. But, you know, they obviously did something right, apparently materialistically. How they are with Jesus, I don't know. I've always read that it's, you know, for a rich man, it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven. It's for a rich man to get into heaven is like a camel going through the eye of the needle. It's that hard. So, but there are some things that I think we can learn. And I really like that Gregory Mannarino guy. I had no idea really what was going on with the world. I just kind of lived, not necessarily in the moment, but I bought into the American dream. And then, of course, when I got the bug bite, it kind of took me out of society. And now I can look at it from a different point of view. And I do think that, you know, a lot of these economists are really sharing a lot about what they know to be true. And I'm hearing a lot of them say, you know, like some of the ones that were in Vietnam and all that, that one guy from Vietnam, you know, that they were really sad to see what happened after, you know, we were removed from the gold standard by Richard Nixon and all that. And that everything is playing out the way it's playing out because ultimately it's going to cause a lot of violence. And go, you know, we're really headed down the road towards like Argentina and Venezuela. And that's really sad to see America go that direction. You know, especially once you've lived in it in a time of such prosperity. So, you know, the only way I know how to handle that without just being really depressed and feeling like there is no hope is to just have the measures in place that will ensure, you know, safety, food, clean water, and power. Because at this point, I didn't know that, you know, if you have a passport, you can be seized. You know, it's really technically government property. You know, if you're going to run and hide, now's the time to do it if you haven't already done it. Places like Uruguay. I can't remember where the other location was. But, you know, I really feel that I don't want to go somewhere. I don't think I know I don't have the money to go move to Uruguay. But I'm going to stand true to Texas. You know, I'm a Texas girl and I want my freedom to carry or to bear arms. Because yesterday, for me, and I know I took my video down, I got a real taste. I really feel like I got a real taste of what's to come. If I hadn't have said that I was in the house, I truly believe they would have they would have dismantled the gate and illegally entered my property. And if I were to find a way to sue or go to the city, they say you can't fight City Hall. I'm sure they're all on retainer by these big time attorneys. And it's probably legal. It's probably legal for them to do that somewhere in the law. So, you know, well, it is really nice to beautify and handle nature and just admire her beauty. Thank God for that. I'm really grateful for that, by the way. I'm really sad, on top of things, just about what happened to our nation. And it does feel, to me, it feels like a death. And I don't think we've seen the worst of it yet. But, you know, hope springs eternal. And I really appreciate y'all coming to my channel. I do. I really appreciate y'all listening to my stories, especially about the ones of hardship and struggle. Because, you know, you can't do it alone. And I'll never lay down my crosses, plural. And I'll never give up. And I'll never give in. I'm just going to keep on smelling the flowers, thanking the Lord for each and everything, good and bad, and fasten my seatbelt because I think we're in for a real bumpy ride. Okay, everybody, well, much love, God bless, stay vigilant, be prepared. I don't want to see anybody that I know or love, any of y'all out there, all my subs and my viewers, stay safe. And I know those are two words that just seem like they mean Marxism, but take care of yourselves because you're all you've got. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.